After the departure of Fran McCaffrey from Iowa, and to be honest with you, there probably would have been a level of exodus even if Fran McCaffrey still was at Iowa. But Iowa point guard sophomore Brock Harding has entered the portal. He averaged almost 9 points this year, a little over 5 assists. Kind of had an up and down year. Brock Harding was a pretty big time, at least highly sought after recruit coming into Iowa. I was actually a massive fan of Brock's out of high school. Thought he was going to be really good at Iowa. Not saying he wasn't wasn't good or anything like that, but kind of had an up and down year. Was starting, not starting, seemed to fall out of favor at the end. But like I said, a sophomore with high passing chops, I would say. And now he's trying to find his next home. He's Owen Freeman's in the portal as well. There's maybe some rumors that him and Owen are a package deal. That's going to be an interesting thing, seeing as I think there's going to be a lot bigger suitors for Owen than there is for Brock Harding. But I'll throw it to you first, Dion. What are your initial thoughts on Brock Harding being in the portal?
My initial thoughts are when Braden Smith also enters the portal, Brock Harding will be the perfect Braden Smith replacement.
They just try they if they just want to slide somebody in and then just kind of be like, maybe Purdue fans be like, man, Braden got tatted this summer or something like that. They'll squint. But then when he actually starts playing, they'll be like, oh shit, this isn't Braden Smith.
I think we still got Braid. But no, honestly, like, I mean, Purdue would make sense for him even with Braden. I think that that's my initial thoughts. He's a good player. I do want to call the whole University of Iowa out. So first off, I think so highly of Fran McCaffrey. I thought he retired. I didn't know this whole time. I'm like, oh, Fran's leaving. This must be his like retirement tour. I'm watching Iowa games, waiting for like the presentation before the game, like when you get a gift on
Mm,
your retirement tour. It just never happened. That's because he got fired. So I'm adding him to my hypothetical West Virginia coaching list. It's him and Maybach Willie so far. More names will be added moving forward. Coach K is on it too, just in case.
gotcha.
But but crazy that they just fired Fred McCaffrey. I don't know what their expectation is. And then also the whole team hit the portal. So I don't want anyone to be mad at Owen Freeman anymore because he just did early what the whole university was planning to do. Everyone was going to hit the portal. We were going to fire the coach, so on and so forth. So that's my initial take on just Iowa as a whole. Owen Freeman, you did nothing wrong in my eyes. Not the greatest decision you made, but if everyone else was going to do it, at least you protected your bag. Congrats on going to Gonzaga or Arkansas, by the way. But Brock Hart, I mean, he can hoop. He can hoop. So the interesting thing is they had like three or four dudes hit the portal that I think are going to be high level impact players at the Power Five level. But
Mm,
they kind of stunk last year.
right.
So that always happens when players hit the portal, where I get really hyped about them, and then they're just not that good because the team that they were on wasn't that good, and it turns out that the players actually play in those games.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Brock goes because he took a jump his sophomore year. His minutes went up. He improved his field goal percentage. He improved his 3-point percentage. Almost a 40% shooter on 3 attempts a game. Obviously, the 5 assists a game could be a high turnover player, but obviously, given his size, there's a little bit of limitations. He's 6 foot, 165 pounds, so obviously defensively he doesn't provide necessarily much. And I just think it was there's some situations too where I think even if the how you feel about the player, it was kind of just time to just maybe go their separate ways. I was going to be starting over. I feel like I don't know if Brock Harding's going to be a part of the future plans of whoever the next head coach is. So I think it makes sense. Some interesting things I'll just throw out about Brock. He's an Illinois native. He was recruited by schools like Loyola out of high school. So I don't know. I guess I'll throw it out here just because we haven't really seen many lists or anything like that for Brock Harding. But I do think it would be something to maybe think about for him to go down somewhat a level. Not like down, obviously, to like lower, D2 or anything like that. I'm just talking about like maybe to the mid-major level. I could see him being really successful. Obviously, I don't know if Loyola is even in for a point guard, but I'm sure Coach Valentine might kick the tires on Brock Harding and see kind of what the deal is with him. I could see a school like maybe a Butler possibly being in play here. But look, given that he's a sophomore who has the passing ability that he has and has shown the ability to score, I do think some bigger schools will come calling to him. I just think that, Brock Harding, he would be maybe more of the guy and more featured like he wants to be at like a Loyola or a Butler or maybe even like a Mountain West school or something like that, like maybe a school out that way. Where do you think would be the ideal fit for him? Because obviously, like I said, maybe some big schools come calling, but I think he gets lost in the shuffle at a bigger school where he could be the guy maybe at like the schools that I just named.
Honestly, I think like he'd be an ideal fit up like some of the mid majors, like you mentioned. Um, an interesting one though, the Kerr Kriisa role at Kentucky. If Kerr doesn't get that extra year of eligibility, he's another one where if you squint hard enough, that might look like Kerr Kriisa.
He would Brock Harding and Loki go crazy in Lexington.
Logan. Like he could shoot. I mean, I've seen him throw up some crazy signs after he makes a three. Like he he could get the crowd amped up. I feel like he'd be the perfect like how John Morant just takes like random dudes and teaches
Hmm.
them stuff.
Yeah,
Like a Caden Lewis would love to take Brock Harding to get a haircut in the hood. Like
yeah.
that would be special scenes. He'd bring Mark Pope with him. Like hey, we're all going to get haircuts today. Oh, maybe not Mark, but he did go to the barber shop with Caden, but like I feel like that would be a good location for him. But honestly, like I mean, San Diego State's of the world, the higher end mid majors, I would say, like the schools that will make the tournament but are still a mid major.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a bunch of like ones we can name. I just think, given his size, you know, playing in the Big Ten, he was playing up against guards that were just basically just manhandling him, kind of, right? Like I know people like to point out like Braden Smith small, but Braden Smith was like he's a heady defender, and I think they do a good job of putting him in spots where he doesn't necessarily have to be like a point of attack guy. I think he would benefit from going to maybe a mid-major where possibly maybe defense is optional a little bit, or he has a great defensive big behind him. Because also I forgot to point this out. 6 foot is generous for Brock Harding. Brock Harding might be 5'10". I know he's listed as 6 foot, but I don't think that is I don't think that he is anywhere close to 6 foot, but we'll kind of see. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, Brock Harding didn't waste much time as the portal opened. He's one of the many players in there. We'll kind of see how it plays out, see if it's a package deal, and if we hear anything, we'll give you all updates on where Brock Harding could possibly go.